Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm just starting this channel off by showing some of the items that I've received or purchased from the thrift stores. And this is going to be my very first video that I'm putting out. But let me give you a little bit about myself. I absolutely love jewelry, even though I don't wear a lot of it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it looks on other people. It's just such a fascinating idea to adorn yourself with precious jewels, faux jewels, and other elements that are out there that basically we think helps to beautify us. I say that because this takes me all the way back to a footage I saw when I was just a young girl on the, I want to say it was OETA, it could have been Nova, I don't remember, but I remember it went back to a tribe of African women that adorned themselves with paint and other things that they made from rocks and sticks and all kinds of stuff, and painted them with whatever the elements were that they had around them, and made some of the most beautiful jewelry. I mean, just wow. So if you think about it, jewelry goes way back to biblical times, way back to the Egyptians, way back to the different tribes out of Africa. So with that being said, let me get started. I love rings. And one of the things that I've actually purchased was rings. Okay? I've got tons of rings, and I really need a ring tray. And that's going to be something I'm going to work to try to get so that I could display my rings in a different way. But I wanted to go over this first to show you what I actually have. Okay, as far as rings go, I'm going to tell you a story first before I get into my rings. Maybe the sixth time I went shopping to get jewelry to show and was super excited about it. I saw these 7 rings. There were 7 of them. I'm going to find those 7 rings. And I thought, wow, these look so real. This is the first one that I purchased. And I want you to see that without it being blurry. And it does actually have a maker's mark in it. But it just basically says gold filled. So that leaves me to believe that those are just like birthstones or just different types of faux diamonds, cubics, something like that. Okay, so that was one of the rings that I purchased at that time. Oh, and this right here is another one. This was another one of the rings that I purchased. And I kept thinking to myself, these rings look real. And this is beautiful. It has a beautiful stone in it. It didn't have a maker's mark, so I thought, okay, well, at least it's still pretty. And it's probably resellable. And then this one here. Absolutely gorgeous. With the pink stone in there. And 2 faux diamonds on the side. It does have a maker's, well, not a maker's mark, but it does tell you that it's gold filled. So I thought even that was pretty. And then this one right here, which I couldn't make out basically what it was. I knew that the pearl wasn't real, but nonetheless, it was still a very beautiful ring. And what some people would call a rose gold, but I know it wasn't gold because it didn't have a mark in it. Okay, so those are 3 of the 4 rings. But here's where it turned up. So while I purchased those 4 rings, 7 rings, the 4 that I just showed you, I thought were gorgeous. And then these right here that I'm getting ready to show you, as soon as I can pull this together. There we go. These were the other rings. And here's where I say it got turned up. I decided one of the groups that I had joined, I wanted to show them these rings. They all had maker's marks in them, but I thought that since the others were not real, that these couldn't possibly be real, because I only paid $4.97 for the rings. $4.97 to find out that this ring here actually has 8 diamonds surrounding an Edwardian pearl. And the reason why they call it Edwardian pearl is because of the era that it was the look was created. So the diamonds turned out to be real, and I promise you that totally blew my mind when I found that out. Okay, and I'll tell you how I came to that conclusion. This one here turned out to be a 925, which basically is 92.5 sterling silver, and 6 point whatever other elements. And I thought, wow, and then the stone in the middle is a lapis stone. Okay, I'm still going to get to that, but I want you to understand. And this one here turned out to have 16 perfect clear diamonds in it. And there is a maker's mark in it. And when I first saw that, I thought it said PK, which in my mind made me believe that was plated. Don't ask me why, but I don't know enough about jewelry, and I've learned a lot over the last couple of months about jewelry. Anyway, that turned out to be 16 perfectly clear diamonds. Now, I can't tell you how excited I was when I first found that out, but this piece, after being appraised, turned out to be $6,400. And that shocked me. This piece here turned out to be $975. And this one with the lapis stone, sterling silver, and 52 clear sapphire jewels around it turned out to be between $300 and $400. Now, my point, I was just out trying to find something to do with my life after having a massive, I had a double aneurysm stroke and a massive brain surgery. And so you'll find me kind of slipping up on some words sometimes, but I have come through this after a while of going through rehab and dealing with a lot of different things that comes along with the stroke, other than dying. I've learned that, every day something could happen, and we're not aware of that. And I was just trying to find something to get into, and jewelry seemed to be something that I loved and adored. And I felt like I had just come a long way. So I wasn't going to lay down and go silently into the dark. A lot of times, my understanding is when you actually have an aneurysm stroke, normally you don't make it, 9 out of 10 times. But there are people that have made it. I've talked to a lot of different people. They're in a lot worse shape than I am, after having a double aneurysm stroke. They may have just had the aneurysm. Some didn't make it, and those that did, they may have problems with their left side, their right side, depending on which side of the brain it actually happened to. But I'm just happy that I have made it through, and I just figure God had something else planned for me. So, back to the jewelry. So I'm not going to open this today, but there will be a time where I'm going to open this. And also on my channel, I'm going to make sure that I give pieces away to those that are viewing my channel. Not everybody will get something, but you will have a chance to get a piece of jewelry. But these right here, no, I'm going to hang on to those because I was just really shocked that I've actually found those. So I took them to this place to have them, Hellsberg, to have them actually appraise them. It was taking them too long, and I found another place. So that's how I had these appraised. I actually have the paperwork on them, except for the lapis, because apparently silver wasn't anything that he was interested in, but the 2 diamond pieces he was very interested and chose to go ahead and appraise those. I will give you that appraiser's name, but I just won't do it on this video right now. Anyway, so let's get back to the rings, because right now I'm doing rings today, and I wanted to share some of the rings with you. Okay, so I showed you the 4 rings that I got, and then the 3 extra rings that turned out to be something really nice. I found this in one of my batches. It is a sterling silver 925 with I'm not sure what this red stone is called. I'm still learning. So I didn't know what the stone was called in that. If you know, go ahead and put it out there. And of course, it needs a lot of cleaning. And it was so dirty, I couldn't even find a mark in there at first. But I do have my loop with me that I keep with me all the time, just so that I can check that out. And it's put together very well. It is silver, even though the color looks kind of goldish looking. It just depends on what is mixed in with the silver. That's why they say if it's written in there 925, it's 92.5% sterling. And then some other metal that gives it whatever patina it gets on it after being stored for a long time. But it can be clean, and you get it all the way back to its beautiful silver color. I'm not interested in doing that. I'm going to leave it as it is. This right here, it has a maker's mark in it, and it says made by Indians, and it also says sterling. If you could read that. I don't know if you can actually. And I'm still learning how to do this whole camera thing too, so sometimes I'll be off on that. But yeah. And there's little flakes of real gold in there, and it's topped with some type of resin. This on top is some type of resin. So this is a made by Indian ring, and it's topped with some type of resin, locking that gold on the inside of that. But it is sterling silver, 92.5. And then I found a whole bunch of other rings that were, I don't know what I did with those. Oh, and let me say this too. I also keep a bag of sterling, things that I probably can't, gold. Some pieces are actual gold. Some pieces are sterling silver, 925. And I keep a bag of that. So whenever I find stuff that is broken or doesn't fit together with something else, I'll go ahead and throw it in a bag, and I'll keep it, and that'll be resellable later. So, there was 2 rings that I had. Oh, here they are. Actually, that's not it. Anyway, I had 2 other rings that were 925s. I put them in a bag. Oh, here they are. These 2 right here are also 925s that came with the batch. Oh, and here's the important part. Where I shop for mine, jewelry is usually at, can you see that? I hate when it does that. Okay, so these are 925s, sterling silver, which I try to keep separate from some of the other stuff. But the whole point is, um, outside of the 7 rings that I showed you that were $4.97, these other rings came in a package from Goodwill at $5.95. And that's what I paid for all of these other rings. They were just kind of tossed in a bag, and I bought the whole bag. The young lady was very nice because she said, oh, we're trying to clean out our shelves to bring in some more stuff. And I thought, oh, great, I'll take those pieces. And so that's what I ended up doing. She put them in a bag, marked it $9. Trust me, you can get more for these rings than $9.95. So that's how you have to kind of catch some of these thrift stores. Goodwill, they are so much more expensive than just regular self-owned thrift stores. So that's why I almost try to avoid Goodwill. But believe it or not, a lot of these I got from Goodwill. So some of these other rings are basically cubic zirconia. I hate that you guys can't see that. I've already tested them for, or looked for marks in them using my loupe. This one right here is so tarnished. It's also a 925. But it's so tarnished, it needs to be cleaned. And these right here were just something that I found. I don't need this camera focusing on my face so strong. I need to just focus on the jewelry. But I'm not getting, but trust me, I'll learn this as I go along, because this is my my first video on YouTube, the very first one. I have them on my Facebook page, but I keep that page locked. So here's another ring, but there's no maker marks on that. Anyway, so basically that's it. I hope to get better at this. I really do. I think I'll be okay. Like I said, I'm still learning, and I'm excited about a lot of the rings that I actually do have. I just found out about a jewelry company called Barse, Barse. This was one of the rings that is marked that. Very beautiful ring. And I had another one. This is also one that's also marked Barse. I don't know if you could see that. I guess it's best if I take it out of here. If you can see that. So apparently they make some really nice jewelry. And when I went to their site, they range from the hundreds down to $11.88. So the range in pricing is amazing there, and that's what I like about a lot of the jewelry companies. You can go online and check them out. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this now because I think I've showed you everything that I wanted to show you. And I'm not having the greatest time of trying to do that because I have to figure out how I'm going to block my face from drowning out the jewelry that I'm showing. But anyway, I hope that I taught you a little bit of something from this video. If you see any pieces that you like, get with me, and I'll leave that in my I'm not sure what it's called right now, but you'll be able to find me by email. How about that? All right, because I'm still not keen on everything that YouTube has to offer. So I'm learning all this stuff. And you guys can learn with me. If you've ever thought about creating a channel, you can learn with me. All right, so that's going to be it. And I'll make sure that you understand how you can win a piece of jewelry. Okay? All right, you guys take care.